Okay, the last thing we're going to look at is computing some pay item quantities from the drainage graphics. And to do that, we're going to use Design and Computation Manager. And in Design and Computation Manager, I'm going to go to Compute Mode. And in Compute Mode, I can select individual categories that I want to work with, or I can pick a specific category, or I could even pick a specific item to compute. What I'm going to do is just leave it on the pay items category and just have it compute anything that it finds that recognizes a pay item. But if I wanted only the 603 items, I could pick that group, or maybe if I wanted only the type B items, I could pick that group. Or if I wanted only a couple of categories, I could pick a category, and then there's an add it to a highlighted collection, so that brings that down at the bottom. So there's another way I could run it there, just computing these three categories and ignoring the 201 category. If I want to clear that collection, there's a clear button here to clear those items out. But I'll go ahead and leave those three categories in there. Now, when I'm in compute mode, the secondary dialog comes up with a bunch of options, and I'm not going to go over every option, but what I'm going to do is compute using my view extent, everything that's inside the view. And I'm going to use a chain as a reference for this. And I've selected the chain CLP IO75. Now, one thing you can run into is things like this. These elements out here, I don't really want to compute those off of my CLP IO75. That's my main center line here. I really want those to be computed relative to this side road chain. So the way that can happen, there's a couple ways, is I can select which elements I want to compute, and maybe compute by a selection set, and then pick the chain. But another thing I can do is have it use my ad hoc attributes. So I'm going to bring up the ad hoc application viewer again, or the attribute application viewer. And I'm going to just select one of these elements over here. It doesn't really matter which one. And you can see one of the attributes that we've stored with this is the name of the chain. And this is a chain that we're going to use this in a computation. So what I need to do is tell Geopack, if there's no chain value assigned, we'll use this one. But if there's a value assigned, I want to use the value that's assigned. So the way I can do that is under Settings, Compute. There's an ad hoc attribute name, and the name of that ad hoc attribute was chain. So we're just going to tell it, if you find an ad hoc attribute named chain, use the chain specified by that ad hoc to compute your station and offset values. Otherwise, we'll use the one we've got selected in the dialog. Now, I'm not going to give any station ranges or offset left-right ranges. I'm going to do it by my view. So what I've done is just windowed in on the area, and that just happens to work for this particular example. I can get that group of information isolated in a view. But you could use selection sets or fences or whatever else. There's an option here to highlight during computation, give it a highlight color, and then I'll go ahead and tell it compute quantities. So now it's gone through and found all the graphics inside the view, and it's just giving me a simple report, and this is a kind of a summary. And what I can do is export this, and there are different export formats here. And I'm just going to export it to a comma-separated value file. And I'm going to do that by element. So I want to know specifically, each element that's here. I don't want to export this by items. I don't want to see just a summary. There's 5 of these. I want to see each one individually and what station it's at, what offset it's at, and all that stuff. So we'll do CSV by element. And then I've given it a name with my PID number _ drainage quantities.csv. And I can create or append the previously created file, and I'm going to go ahead and export that. And that's written to my working directory. So for this one, I've just got everything in one folder for my demo here. So there's the drainage quantity CSV file that it just created, and I'll go ahead and open that with Excel. And what I'm going to do is under View, I'm going to freeze the top row, so I can scroll down and that header row will stay in place. And let's expand a couple of these. Let me see, maximum station. That's good enough. There's a couple of head walls, and they're stationed. The minimum station and maximum station values will be the same, since those are cells, and it's just the origin of the cell is what that is. Let's look at some more here. Catch basin 3A. There's the baseline that was used to compute that, our CLX C-res. There's the station, and that must be the offset, minimum offset, and over here somewhere there's probably a maximum offset, and those again should be the same because it's a cell. Same with the minimum maximum station. So there's all kinds of information in this file. There's the measurement there was one of those at that station and offset. Let's go on out here and look at some other things. Some information about the element itself, the file it's in, the element number in the file, what is it, it's a cell. And then we get out here, and these are our ad hoc attributes. So this report also contains our ad hoc attributes. So we have an attribute named ODOT drainage, it's a string, and its value is true. We have an attribute named chain, it's a string, and its value was the name of that chain, so etc. So each of these ad hoc attributes are also available for you in this file. So over here is a grade elevation, it's a number, there's its value. Flow elevation, a number, there's its value, etc. So you can see there's a lot of information in this CSV file. If I scroll down a little bit here to one of our pipes, looking at that information, there's the minimum station offset, goes to station 99 plus 50, and an offset. So that one's at the same station, but it's running perpendicular to the center line, 13 feet roughly left and right. Then over here under our measurement, 27.25 feet is the length for that. And then there's all the ad hoc attributes for that also. So you can see this CSV file contains a lot of information, and that's up to you on how you want to use that. If you want to try and take that into some quantity sheets and whatnot, at this point that's up to you. ODOT hasn't done anything to further develop that. I'm not going to save the changes there. There's another report that might be useful instead of getting so detailed. Let's go ahead and compute again, and let's just do a simple item report. In this case, it's a text file, and I'll go ahead and export that. And I didn't mention the check boxes, but you can turn on which items are off, which items you want to export to the file. And let's look at the text file. And I'm using a program called Ultra Edit for text files. But this is just a simple report of the items that it encountered and then the total for that. So for example, item 604E400, our catch basin number 3, there were 2 each of those encountered. So that might be useful for you just as a summary and as a check of your computation that you do yourself. If you just want to use the pay items here to double check what you've come up with versus what GeoPack's going to give you. So just a couple options there for you to consider. Oops, I didn't mean to close my design file. There we go. Just a couple options there for you to consider on how you might use the quantity part of this. And then hopefully in the future ODOT will continue to expand this. But for now, that's all that's provided, and for now there are no definite plans to expand that. But we'll just see where things go in the future. So that pretty much wraps it up for all the proposed drainage applications. And again, those applications were really written just to help automate the drafting process on the profile and the cross sections. And I think you can see quite a bit of benefit to using these to get that information on your plan. And then hopefully you'll find some utility from the pay item aspects and the 3D aspects of that too. If you have any questions or any problems with these applications, please contact the Office of Production. Thanks and have a great day.